Let's look at another example for determining the perimeter of a triangle from a coordinate plane. I also would like you to classify the triangle by the side lengths. So we're looking to see if there's no sides in common, which would be a scalene triangle. Two sides of the same length would indicate an isosceles triangle, and all three sides the exact same would be an isosceles. Nope, isosceles is two sides. It would be an equilateral. Okay, and then we can use the Pythagorean theorem to determine if we've got a right triangle, an acute triangle, or an obtuse triangle. Okay, so we can look at this green triangle here, triangle DEF, and see that it's probably an obtuse triangle. To me, it doesn't look like any of the side lengths are the same, but let's just do the math to figure it out. Okay, so I don't have this one copied over, and so it's a good idea to just draw a quick sketch, if nothing else, so you know. It doesn't even have to be a perfect sketch. Well, of course, the sketch is never going to be very perfect, but just so that you get the vertices just going in the right direction. So we have DEF, and so when I write this on here, that doesn't look anything like. Let's try that again. So we've got, it really doesn't matter, guys, DEF, okay, just so we have things listed. So my first step would be to write down the vertices, and if I look back at this, I can see that the vertices for point D is at 4, 9, E is 11, 6, and F is 15, 8. Okay, so I went ahead and wrote those down here. And now we're just going to find the distance between each of these sides. So if we first look between F and D, let me zoom in a little bit so we can. Okay, so I'm going to let F be my x1, y1, and D be my x2, y2, and I'm just going to substitute my values in and go ahead and determine what that distance is. Okay, so if I substitute what I have in here, I've got 4 minus 15 squared plus 9 minus 8 squared. 4 minus 15, so I have negative 11 squared, plus 9 minus 8 is 1 squared. So this is going to be a positive 121 plus 1. So I have 122 units. So the square root of 122 units. And that's going to be just over 11. So 11.05. So this is approximately 11.05 units. Okay, the next distance I'm going to find is between D and E. So let's let E be my x1, y1. Okay, and D is my x2, y2. So I have 4 minus 11 squared plus 6 minus 9 squared. 4 minus 11 is a negative 7, so negative 7 squared. And 6 minus 9 is a negative 3 squared. So negative 7 squared is a positive 49, and negative 3 squared is a positive 9. So if I add 49 and 9 together, I get 58. So I have the square root of 58 units, which is approximately 7.62 units. And then my last side that I need to do would be FE. Okay, so FE, I'm going to let E be my x2, y2 here. And F is my x1, y1. So I have again that the distance is equal to x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And this is for FE. Okay. And so I have 11 minus 15 squared plus 6 minus 8 squared. I'm going to zoom back in here because it's easier to write. Okay. And this is the square root. So 11 minus 15 is negative 4. So I have negative 4 squared plus, and 6 minus 8 is a negative 2 squared. So if I take the square root of that, negative 4 squared is positive 16. Negative 2 squared is positive 4. So I have the square root of 20. And the square root of 20 is 4.47 units. So now if I want to find the perimeter, and we can go back and see, does this look like it makes sense? Let's see. 4.4. So EF would definitely be my smallest side, and that's what I've determined, that EF is my smallest side. So now if I want to know what my perimeter is, I would add my sides together. So the perimeter is each of the sides added together. So I have the square root of 122 plus the square root of 58 plus the square root of 20. Or you can add using your that's 11.05. So approximately 23 and 1400ths units. Okay, again, each of these sides is different, so this would be a scalene triangle, or this would be a scalene triangle. Okay, and we can determine what are a squared plus b squared, how that's related to c squared. Okay, so if we go in order, remember a is always going to be your smallest. So that's going to be the square root of 20 squared plus b is the square root of 58 squared. And then we've got c is the square root of 122 squared. So this is 20 plus 58, and this is 122. So 78 is less than 122. So when a squared plus b squared is less than c squared, we have an obtuse triangle. So this would be an obtuse scalene triangle. And that would be how you could classify this triangle.